Hey, what's up guys? It's your boy Victor once again. Today I'll be introducing you to the perfect and fastest background removal technique you have ever seen in your entire life. This is my special tip for effectively removing any background from a subject. If you are new to this channel, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. Without any delay, let's begin this tutorial. So first of all, I'm going to insert an image we'll be working with, and I'm just going to choose a random image. Alright, so I'm just going to click on the file, then head over to the place embedded. Then I'm just going to copy this part and paste over here because I guess the image is here. Alright, so I'm going to be working with this image. This is my photo. For those of you that don't know, I'm just going to be working with this very quickly, and we're going to see how fast and how perfect this background removal technique will be after a few minutes. All right, okay, so I'm just going to click on the checker there, and boom, we have it here. All right, this tool I'm going to introduce you to is actually the quick selection tool. That's the fourth tool on your toolbar. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the quick selection tool. Then or the shortcut key is also W. Just hit W on your keyboard and it's going to open. Alright, so what I'm going to introduce you is the new feature of Adobe Photoshop 2020 and above, I suppose, because back in those days we didn't have this new feature Adobe has added, which is Adobe Sensei. It's more like an artificial intelligence stuff kind of thing. They added so in such a way that when you click on this select subject, automatically you don't have to trace the subject. You don't have to trace over, like before in those days where we have to, drag and drag, hold down the Alt to subtract selection and add selection, or we come over here. It was time consuming and it was tedious. But now, thanks to Adobe Photoshop latest updates, we have the Adobe Sensei. So all we need to do is just to click on this select subject and just give it a few seconds for it to load, and you can see a progress bar saying selecting subjects. So we're just going to wait and look at how perfect it is. Like, so perfect. You can try this on any picture you want, and there's no words to quantify how cool this is. All right, so I'm just going to click on the next section, which is select and mask. And all right, select and mask, make sure your opacity is set to 100%. You can actually select on overlay, on white, on onion skin, on black and white, regardless, or depending on what you want. All right, but I'm just going to pick on black. Okay, then what I always do, I'm just going to share a few of my tips, what I always do whenever I'm removing a subject from a background. Alright, what I first do is to make sure I set the smooth, just give it some, pixels of, or some percent of smoothness. Yes. Alright, I'm just going to smoothen it a bit like this. So you don't want to smoothen it too much, because when you smoothen it too much, you can see, you notice faded blurry line attached to it. If this is on, let's set this to on white. See, on some image it won't really come out that fine because the smoothness is too much. So you wouldn't want to make sure the smoothness is too much. Just set it to let's say around 15 or 16 thereabouts. Okay, then the next thing you want to play with is the shift edge. Sometimes the selection might not come out as perfect as this, you understand? So most times you want to shift your edge inwards like this, -8, -8, or as much as -30. Depends on you, depends on what you want, you understand? Then but for this selection looks perfect, so I'm just going to give it -5. all right, so what that does, we just shift it inwardly. You just shift the selection inwardly and just take away some parts that the Adobe Sensei could not pick, so to just take it. Then you can set the contrast. I actually use this when I'm working with selecting logos out of background. because I want to give it a sharp contrast, and feather. So feather also, it depends on how rough the image can be. Sometimes the image can be so rough that you'll be wondering what kind of image is this, and most times those images are actually very blurry image, and it's not perfect to work with because of the pixels loosely spread about. But for this is perfectly okay. So all I need to do is just to click on the OK. But before you do that, this is the most important thing. You scroll down and select output to new layer. So there are different options. You have layer mask, new layer with layer mask, new document, and the rest. But I would like a new layer. All right, then you can remember the settings if you want, but what is more important is the smooth and the shift edge. Never play with this. Anytime you want to effectively remove an image from a background, you understand, or a subject from a background, make sure you don't joke with the smooth. Just play with these figures, play with it. What I wouldn't advise you to do is to play with the radius, because you wouldn't like the effect. But always play with the smooth and the shift edge, most especially. Then sometimes with the feather, depending on the kind of output you want. So in future video of mine, you'll see me use these tools a lot. So I wouldn't want questions coming up in the comment box like, how did you do this, how did you do that? Because most times I work with images, and sometimes I don't have the time to remove those images from the background, or remove those subjects from the background. So I do them before making the tutorials. So this is how I do them. So all I need to do is just to click on OK, and alright, can see, as simple as that, and boom, we have this set. Like, can see the image has been separated from the background. And let's try this out. Let's try giving it a solid color. Let's give it a different background. Let's see, put the background under. So you can see how smooth it is. Let me zoom into it and see how smooth it is. You can see. So if you like, you can change the background color if you want. Let me zoom out. All right, you can change the background color if you want, to see how good the background removal technique has worked. And you can discover that it's actually the fastest and the most amazing. Actually, I didn't want to make this video too short, otherwise I would have done this in less than just 1 minute, in less than 1 minute, let's say 30 seconds, because it doesn't even take me up to 30 seconds to do this. But I just decided that I should just discuss and chat with you guys a bit, even if literally I'm chatting with myself. But although I just decided to for that buttress the tool and explain 1 or 2 things to you guys. So guys, that will be all for today. Thank you so much for having me, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button, share this video to your friends. Everybody needs to see this. This is wonderful. And make sure you upgrade that Photoshop, so you can follow along. I'll be releasing videos on branding very soon, and very soon we'll be introducing coding to our YouTube channel, so stay tuned for that. I love you all guys. Bye.